This is 1680 The Crow, and you're listening to our feature presentation.
Welcome into For the Record. My name is Elijah Ford, and it is a pleasure to be your host today. The fall months have begun in the Lower Mainland. Increasing rain and decreasing temperatures around this time would usually see Canadian snowbirds leaving the nest for warmer temperatures down south. These are not usual times for Canada-US relations, however. An increasing number of people who would usually be heading for their winter homes are staying put due to a combination of patriotism and new travel policies.
Snowbird Steve Blair says he had an unusual experience when crossing the U.S. land border this month for his winter stay.
He just said, we're going to take your picture and your fingerprints now, and it's going to be $30.
Were you surprised?
On the fingerprints and on the photo, yes, I was.
U.S. President Donald Trump issued an executive order earlier this year requiring many foreign visitors staying 30 days or longer to register with the U.S. government. As of last April, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, some Canadians planning to visit the U.S. for more than 30 days are required to complete an alien registration form. The application asks for personal and biographical details and requires biometric data collection such as fingerprints. The requirement has been in effect since April. However, as the new snowbird season kicks off, this is the first time many Canadian snowbirds are dealing with the rules, resulting in some uncertainty and frustration. Fred Veritone is a BC resident who has owned property in the U.S. for over 2 decades. Now, due to these policies, he is hesitant to go to the place he and his family have enjoyed for years.
Can you tell me a bit about your summer home in the U.S.? Where is it located? How long have you owned it?
Well, you'd probably call it more a winter home.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a condo in Maui. So just a few-minute walk to a beach.
Very, very nice. And how often did you typically use the winter home when you first bought it?
Well, it was split between family members. So I have 4 other siblings, and we bought it initially for my mom, who was older. And so she would go there 2 or 3 months, probably about 3 months a year. And then the rest of us would probably go 3 weeks a year each. And now my mom has passed away, so I probably go more like about 4 weeks a year, and my sister's probably about 2 to 3 weeks a year.
Gotcha.
For the last 10 years or so, last 5 years or so.
Sure. Has anything changed for you recently when it comes to using that home?
Well, I know what you're getting at. And yes, I feel guilty if I go to the States. I wouldn't go to the U.S. I wouldn't travel there. But the problem is, in other words, I don't want to give them my money. I like the Americans, but we're in a bit of a trade war with them. Not too happy with their administration. So I'd rather not give them money until they change their administration. But the problem I have is that, I already have to pay the property tax. I already have to pay the insurance. I already have to pay the maintenance fee. So, so when I go there now, I just don't spend money. I just go to the grocery store and the beach and stuff like that. Before I used to go out to restaurants and things like that. And so now if I go there now, I feel guilty, but I'm already paying, so it's not, I use a Canadian airline to go there, and then I'm already paying all the stuff as it is, so I just spend as little as I can when I'm there, and I'll still go, but I'm not happy about it. So it's not as nice.
Yeah, 100%. Also, with what you're getting at with the U.S.-Canadian sentiment right now, there's been some reports of a bit of that kind of trickling down into U.S. people treating their Canadian neighbors differently when they are at their other homes. Have you experienced that at all?
No, I feel the guys in our complex are trying to be extra nice to Canadians. but most Canadians aren't going. So the complex we're in, their bookings are way down. They thought I wasn't coming. They're happy I'm coming. And they apologize for their administration. But Hawaiians are different than your other states. It's a very democratic state, right?
Sure. With that, getting there, have you faced any issues with cross-border travel, visas, health insurance coverage, little things like that? Because I know that their policies have been changing pretty rapidly.
It hasn't affected me. I'm just your typical older white guy, so I don't have to worry about the racism. And as far as medical goes, I haven't got sick there yet, but I have to buy my medical from here, and that's a totally different issue. Nothing's changed. I might have some pre-existing conditions, but that has nothing to do with travel.
Understood. Have you made any changes to your property considering what's happened over these last few years? Have you had to rent it out, or are you thinking of potentially selling or just leaving it vacant? How's that process gone?
Well, I'm an eternal optimist. I think the Americans have made a mistake, and I think they'll change. If come next November they don't change at all, then I will be. Then I'll sell. If it's a landslide for the Republicans, which I don't think it will be, then I would say that then they're all in on these new policies and stuff, and then it would be, I don't want anything to do with it, so I would end up selling. But I'm assuming it's going the other way, and I'm assuming they've made a mistake, and they're going to try to fix it. It's going to be hard for them, but they'll try, and then I would like to keep it because I love Hawaii.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, just kind of you personally, how has it kind of affected you not being able to use this home that you've had for a very long time the way that you would want to? Has that been a tough process?
It hasn't been a tough process. It just, like I say, it makes me feel guilty. If I go there, I'll go there less, because now I'm sort of retired. I can just pick up, I just went with 1 day's notice a month ago, just because I wanted to get out of the rain, and I had something that I had to do to the condo, just the maintenance stuff. So, I just went. And like I say, so I can still do that, and I will do that, but not as easily as I would have before. Like I will consciously try not to go as many times and try to go somewhere else. But since I own it, I feel I should use it too, rather than just have it sitting there empty and me paying for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know others in your community who are in a similar situation? What's kind of their perspective on it, or what are they saying or doing? Are they similar to you in their perspective, you think?
I think so. I know somebody with a place down in Palm Springs. He's going, I don't really want to go down there. But I own the stupid thing, so I'm paying for it anyway. So so they're going. They wouldn't go if they didn't own. I wouldn't go if I didn't own. It's a big world out there. I'd rather go somewhere else. And I think a few other guys that I know that have places otherwise, and a lot of people I know that don't own places aren't going to the U.S.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I've been doing.
But I do know 2 or 3 that couldn't care less, and they're saying, who cares? It's just politics, and they go.
Sure. If you do end up selling the home and the climate doesn't change, do you think you'll be looking for an alternative within Canada?
Not so much because, we already have a winter, summer place. I don't think so, because I like it around Vancouver in the summer and locally, and then I'm stuck to one spot. So I'll go traveling in Canada, for sure in the summer. But I'm looking more for winter, for sunshine away from the rain. And so I wouldn't buy anything in Canada from that point of view. Our winters all across the country aren't what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking more for, I'm not too keen on Mexico, but I'd be looking for, if I was going to buy somewhere else, it would be somewhere sunny, but I don't think I would. Just, Canada and the U.S. are usually pretty stable. Mm-hmm. I've had a sister that's bought in a third world country and they've lost it, right? So,
right.
So I think I'd be better off just doing Airbnbs, and traveling all over the world type of thing.
Sure. I guess I'll just wrap up with, was there a moment or a news story that you saw that kind of affected your stance towards not wanting to spend your money in the U.S., or was it kind of a slow progression towards this?
It was a progression rate just straight off with tariffs and the talk of the 51st state, but the tariffs are the key thing. There's a trade war going on there, but they're treating everybody poorly, right? So not just Canadians, but I'd rather go help other countries out, including Canada. So stay more in Canada, but go see the world and avoid America.
Absolutely. Well, I can't thank you enough, Fred, for giving me your perspective on this and giving me some 10 minutes of your time. It's much appreciated.
Okay, no problem.
This has been For the Record. I'm Elijah Ford for BCIT's The Crow.